welcome back to another video. A lot of news to get to today. We're going to start off right away. Let's get into the video. And welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron Simpson, and I'm sure you can tell right away, different quality video today. I'm recording with a different camera because my other camera is out of commission for a little while. Part of that being because of a SD card finally on its last leg. So we'll be out of commission for quite a little bit until around July. So guys, stick in there with us. Of course, we're going to still be producing content because I can't not produce content for you. But on a GoPro with maybe a little different audio level. I'm hoping it's alright because I can't hook up a microphone to the GoPro. So different audio levels, but overall still okay video quality, I hope, for all of you. So there's your housekeeping for the day. Now let's start to get into the news. The stuff that we want to report on today. Went through Adam Stern's Twitter page today and found a few things that I think we need to report on. Give them a little bit of better light in there. Alright, here we go. Richmond Raceway announced today, on Wednesday, that the NASCAR will call this year's Richmond race, which falls on the 20th anniversary of 9/11. They will call it the American Heroes presented by Toyota. So that is what the race will be called. It is already going to be a salute to American heroes presented by Toyota is what it will be called. So that is what will happen on that case. Big race. Dale Jr. is going to be racing in it, and it falls on such a solemn day for so many Americans. So that is that. Unibet has purchased 2 primary positions on the number 4. We'll go on the IMF Indy Motor Sports Road Course and the Fall Martinsville race. Pretty nice sponsorship there. So that is that one. Now let's head into let's talk a little bit about Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Larson, and some stuff that just came out recently. Newly, we found out that Kyle Larson, Hendrick Motorsports, they've been dominant. Alright, that's just something that we know, and that's something that we've been seeing these last few weeks. This team has been dominant, and there's really no questions else. There's no further questions. This team's been a dominant force in the NASCAR Cup Series and has continuously proven that week in and week out. And it's not just Kyle Larson. Hendrick Motorsports has done very well in these last few weeks as well. And both of these teams understand that, and both of these teams know what they need to do and how they need to do, what they need to do to get better, what they need to do to be a productive team. So now we hear that a vice president of competition in NASCAR was questioned on it. Do you guys tighten down on the inspection process since this team has been so dominant? Do you guys do a little more thins since this team has been so dominant? And Steve Miller right out said, yes, we do. We 100% think about thins a little more. We 100% do things in a way that we are now not counterfeiting ourselves, but we are, taking in all the details. Like, we know what's going on type deal. That is what he basically said. He said, yeah, 110%. We will look at Hendrick Motorsports in a way now that we'll look at each little part to make sure that there's nothing going on. Now, I mentioned this on last week's review video, which if you missed it, go check it out. But there was a report that maybe there was a couple extra horsepower that Hendrick has had. Maybe it's in the rulebook, maybe it's not within the rulebook. We don't know for sure, but whatever it is, Hendrick Motorsports had just a teeny bit extra horsepower, and that has caused some concern within the garage. That has caused people to be a little worried on what happened. So is Hendrick Motorsports really in trouble? Are they really at fault here? I mean, that's a question to be asked, because we don't know. Is Hendrick Motorsports, you know, doing something illegal and NASCAR might catch on to it, or are they just so dominant? We haven't seen a team be this dominant for a very long time. So I like the fact that NASCAR is coming down on it, because I think having 15 extra horsepower is slightly cheating. I think that that's kind of cheating. So we'll see if the other teams can kind of do something within the rules, figure it out. We'll see. But that is something that is on the mind. So the ratings from this weekend in motorsports, I thought we might jump on this a little bit, because it was NBCSN's first race back, and the ratings were pretty good. So let's take a look at the Cup Series ratings to start, because SRX was also on this weekend, and we want to talk about their second week ratings. So the ratings for this race were a 1.46 rating and 2.590 million viewers for Sunday's Alley 400 at Nashville Super Speedway. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it was the second highest rated in sports event on cable TV last week. So only behind the NBA playoffs. So that was ahead of the NHL Final Four, and it was, you know, pretty high viewing there. So NBC probably put in a lot more promotion than Fox has ever done. They were able to make sure people knew that this race was going on, and as people were in the mood for a race, they also were looking forward to this NBC return. So 2 million viewers doesn't sound like a lot, right? I mean, 2 million in the grand scheme of things really isn't that many people watching your race compared to some 3 million we saw from Fox's numbers. But it was on NBCSN, so it wasn't on the big boy NBC. It wasn't on big cable. That's number one. Number two, it was second highest behind the NBA playoffs. So NASCAR is doing something right, and we'll see if that continues. But they're doing something right, and they need to keep pushing for that. But the SRX was very surprising this week, for me at least, their ratings, because last week their ratings were 1 million, and really older people. I'm not saying that it still isn't a lot of older people watching, but SRX got 1.2 million viewers. That was ahead of the Nashville NASCAR Xfinity Series race and the F1 race, the second highest motorsports viewing of the weekend at 1.2 views. SRX was, I'm not just gonna sit here and not say it, very dominant within the stuff here. I am surprised, not to say the least, that they are this good and people are tuning in. I mean, I tuned in to that race and watched Tony Stewart win. They didn't post a video about it because it was a busy Saturday for me, but you know, we tuned in, I watched, and I saw what happened, and I enjoy the SRX. I'll be honest, I enjoy the SRX, and I enjoy what the SRX brings. I don't know if that's bad of me. Like, is that something that's against the rules, you know? Like, as a NASCAR fan, I enjoy having something else to watch that isn't NASCAR, and it being on CBS is very good. And it having such a big, you know, and I'm not saying 1.2 viewers is great. For a CBS program, 1.2 viewers is low. Nevertheless, though, CBS, NBC, all of these guys know what they need to do, and they're going to have to start doing it. They're going to have to start producing and doing it. Two more stories I want to get on quickly here. Bubba Wallace has actually went off on NASCAR and Nashville Super Speedway. I came across this article just the other day. Now, don't get me wrong, this website that I get it from, I think it's Sports Broadcasting Journal or something, some of their stories I find hard to believe, but they had it backed up by tweet by a decent source, so I'm taking it with a grain of salt. But Bubba Wallace apparently went off in his post-interview saying that Nashville and NASCAR were the reason he crashed, because they left debris on the track without throwing a caution, and now more controversy surrounds this race. And from it coming from a guy like Bubba Wallace, who is a fan favorite amongst many fans, a lot of fans are coming. He's getting his own Netflix documentary. For it to come from him, it's not going to go to deaf ears. I mean, it's not coming from Quinn Hoff. It's not coming from a guy that no one even knows, like Anthony Alfredo. I mean, it's not coming from someone like that, who is towards the bottom of NASCAR's chain. Like, NASCAR doesn't really care what they think because they're not drawing in fans. But Bubba Wallace, he's bringing in fans, and he said that there was something wrong with the racetrack, and that's blame with him. I disagree. I think that Nashville and NASCAR handled this weekend very well, but is NASCAR officiating needing a change? And Bubba Wallace clearly just came out and called that NASCAR officiating needs to get a change. It needs something to happen. So I 100% think that if NASCAR officiating needs a change, then there's a lot of other things that need to change too. So we need to be watching for that, because Bubba Wallace basically said there's debris on the racetrack. Why didn't you throw the caution? I mean, I'm kind of surprised, because if I was, and the way NASCAR's been officiating this season is, the little teeny things if there's a big lead, the little teeny things they see, they throw the caution because they want to get the race back in. But today they didn't do that, and I'm a little shocked about that. Why didn't NASCAR throw the caution when they probably should have? I don't know, and it will be unknown. If Bubba Wallace is telling the truth that there was debris on the track, the caution shouldn't went out, right? I'm not saying NASCAR did anything wrong, because I thought it was a good race, but I find it interesting that a guy like Bubba Wallace who doesn't complain about much. Like, Bubba Wallace doesn't complain about much within the rules. He came out and complained about this, and I really only heard this article on this. Just tough. Alright, Kamara has signed with NASCAR to bring new fans in. Now, I'm just going to touch on this very quickly, because with Kamara, a quarterback in the NFL, a very popular person, going to be bringing NASCAR fans in, 100% he's going to be bringing NASCAR fans in. This guy is known throughout the NASCAR garage, not the NASCAR, the sporting world. And now he's got this job with NASCAR. I think it is a very big deal, and NASCAR has done a very good job of promoting this, that Kamara's with us. Kamara is now with NASCAR. So that's it for this video. Please hit that like button, subscribe. I new camera for a couple of weeks, guys, but we're going to get used to it. We're going to adapt, as always, and we'll have the old guy back very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you Friday. The Friday video was pre-recorded, so we'll have the old camera view, and see you Saturday and Monday. Peace.